Smart men understand the power of discretion. While vulnerability has its place, airing personal issues in public, especially among casual acquaintances, dilutes one's presence. True strength lies in knowing when to speak and when silence carries more weight. They reserve their deepest conversations for the people who have earned that trust. A smart man never performs for the crowd. He knows that trying to impress strangers with loud behavior, expensive possessions, or exaggerated stories only reveals insecurity. His self-worth isn't defined by external validation, it's built from within. Subtle confidence always outshines forced attention. In moments of tension, a smart man never lets his voice betray his discipline. He understands that raising his voice is a loss of control, not a display of power. Public conflict is a trap. He avoids spectacle, chooses measured words, and when necessary, walks away with dignity. Whether it's likes, compliments, or public praise, smart men don't chase it. They know that those who constantly seek validation are often the most uncertain of themselves. Real value is quiet, disciplined, and focused on long-term respect, not fleeting applause. These are just the first 4 principles. In Part 2, we'll explore the next 3 things smart men never do in public, ones that separate the respected from the forgotten. Subscribe, stay sharp, and remember, power isn't shown, it's felt. Disrespect is a mirror. It reflects more about you than the person you target. Smart men never belittle others for laughs or dominance. They understand that integrity isn't conditional. And in a world obsessed with status, treating everyone with quiet respect is rare, and powerful. Desperation, whether in relationships, business, or conversation, is an energy everyone senses and quietly recoils from. Smart men understand this. They pursue what aligns, but never cling to what resists. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. And clarity is magnetic. Nothing reveals a man's discipline or lack of it, like how he handles indulgence. Smart men never let alcohol, substances, or environment strip them of self-control, because the moment you lose control in public, you give away power that's hard to regain. Poise is permanent currency. These 7 principles aren't rules, they're reflections of internal strength. Smart men don't need the world to know they're disciplined. The world feels it. Walk with quiet confidence, speak with intention, and let your silence speak louder than most people's noise. In a world obsessed with noise, smart men move with discipline, not impulse. Most people listen to reply. Smart men listen to understand. They don't interrupt to outshine, one-up, or assert dominance. Instead, they observe. They calculate. They speak when they add value, because in a room full of voices, the one who speaks the least often says the most. Affection isn't a performance. Smart men never overdo gestures to prove love, loyalty, or worth, especially in public. They know real affection is expressed through consistency, not spectacle. When a man is secure, his love doesn't need validation. It's shown through action, not approval. Complaining is a release most can't resist. But smart men understand it's a currency that buys sympathy and sells away respect. Instead of pointing fingers or venting frustration for show, they take ownership. Quiet accountability is rare, and in public, it's unforgettable. Public spaces reveal private discipline. Smart men don't behave for applause. They behave from principle. These habits aren't about being better than others. They're about being better than the man you were yesterday. We've covered 10 public habits that separate the average from the admirable. In the next episode, we'll flip the lens and explore what smart men always do, silently, without asking for praise. Subscribe, stay focused, and remember, Amana, TM's worth isna, TM to spoken. It's shown. Mastery is in the margins. The smallest decisions reveal the deepest discipline. This is part 4 in our series. 7 more things smart men never do in public, not because they're trying to impress anyone, but because they've trained themselves to live with principle. There's a reason lions don't need to roar. Smart men don't broadcast their success. They let the results do the speaking. Whether it's money, status, or relationships, they don't use their wins to inflate their image. Quiet moves, lasting impact. Tearing someone else down to rise is na TMT confidence, itawa TM as camouflage for insecurity. Smart men don't correct, criticize, or ridicule just to appear superior. They understand that making others small doesn't make you big, and that restraint is a form of silent leadership. Whether it's consumption, celebration, or even laughter, smart men stay calibrated, not because they're cold, but because they're present. Self-control, even in pleasure, is a rare trait, and in public, it separates boys from men. Plans are like seeds, they grow best in silence. Smart men protect their vision. They don't announce, overshare, or invite unnecessary energy into their future. Because sometimes, the more people know, the more they interfere. Progress loves privacy. Arguing with fools only proves there are two. Smart men know that public arguments, especially with those who thrive on attention, are traps. They conserve energy, they protect peace, and they understand not every battle is worth fighting. Silence can be a scalpel. Real intelligence doesn't need display. It reveals itself when required. Smart men never dominate conversations with intellect or correction. They listen more than they speak. Because wisdom isn't in knowing everything, it's in knowing when to speak and when not to. In the face of noise, smart men stay still. Whether it's an insult, failure, attention, or pressure, they don't get pulled out of center. They move from purpose, not reaction. And that stillness, that's presence, the most powerful men you'll ever meet. Feel like peace. Each of these habits is a choice, a quiet refusal to lose control in public, not to appear strong, but to be strong. If you're still watching, you're not just interested in leveling up. You're already on the path. And smart men walk that path differently. Smart men understand that public approval is fleeting. You won't catch them fishing for compliments, boasting for likes, or adjusting their identity to fit in. Validation for them is internal. They let their actions, not their ego, speak. Everyone faces hardship. But intelligent men don't treat public spaces as therapy sessions. They know discretion is power, vulnerability has its place, and it's not in a cafe full of strangers or a train station during rush hour. A raised voice, a snapped comeback, a public meltdown, all signs of someone not in control. The smart man observes before he reacts. He knows that the loudest person in the room often has the least to say. True wealth whispers. Smart men avoid the trap of flex culture. No gaudy displays, no bragging about purchases. Their sophistication lies in understated confidence, not overpriced logos. Public criticism of others says more about the speaker than the subject. Intelligent men understand that gossip corrodes credibility. Silence, on the other hand, builds mystery and respect. Smart men aren't addicted to digital applause. They live their lives, not curate them. They understand that privacy isn't secrecy, it's strength. What you don't show is sometimes what holds the most value. Whether it's how they treat waitstaff or how they leave a public restroom, intelligent men are always mindful of their footprint. Respect isn't situational, it's habitual. Being a smart man in public isn't about trying to impress. It's about embodying values that require no explanation. If this series resonates with you, subscribe and stay tuned, because true refinement never goes out of style.